This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A pair of visiting American academics are taking a community approach to tackling issues resulting from climate change. They're being hosted by Otago Museum for the next month, running a series of public workshops. And while they say climate change is a global issue, they want to know what's going on locally.
Taking in their new surroundings. California-based Beth Ferguson and Sarah Dean have just arrived in New Zealand as part of a cultural exchange program. They're being hosted by Otago Museum, where they'll stay for a month to explore the changing relationship between design and climate.
And we've just gotten here, so we're going to really hear from local knowledge as well as different types of aerial photography, map making, and soil science, and looking at erosion in a bunch of different ways.
Their visit to Dunedin is funded by the American Arts Incubator as well as 01, a technology and art organisation in San Francisco. They're looking forward to showing both the public and other local academics the ways in which science, art and design can intersect and be used to solve problems.
Beth and I are both from the design and art realm world, but we work a lot with scientists and we work a lot with climate and environmental issues. So for us it's a way of engaging and expanding the methods that can be used in science through an art mentality.
Already, Dean says the pair feels very supported by both the museum and the wider community. She's hoping that continues, allowing them to work with as many organisations as possible during their time here.
We've met some fantastic community organizations already in Dunedin, and anybody can come find us here if they would like to work with us on issues of science and art and environment.
The pair are running a series of workshops to exchange ideas and concerns with the local community about what's affecting them. They're planning a final exhibit in early August to display what they've been working on, showcasing more than 20 local projects as well as a handful from around the world. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
Police say they're still treating the discovery of a dead body in a Rockville house as unexplained. A spokesperson for the police told 39 Dunedin News the inquiries are continuing into the sudden death of the man earlier this week. Both a scene examination at the property has been completed, as has a post-mortem. The results of that are not yet available for release. Police say they're not calling for information from the public in regard to the incident at this stage. A modest home in suburban Abbotsford has won the silver medal in the Master Builders House of the Year competition. Despite it being originally planned as a show home, it was sold before being finished, and the company behind it hope it shows just how good the work they do can be.
This is what a silver medal winning house looks like. The Abbotsford home of Mark and Stacey Gribben was originally supposed to be a show home for registered master builder Richard Lobb of Navigation Homes. But instead, it's now taken out second place in the Master Builders House of the Year competition. Lobb says the home is one of his favourite projects he's worked on and believes this latest accolade is important to his fledgling franchise in Otago.
It means a lot. Very proud of winning the award. It gives us a bit of credibility to our company and the way we do our builds. A lot of us talk about in our advertising and promotion about quality builds that you'd love to live in, but by putting yourself out there in a competition like this, it gives you real credibility.
For the competition, houses are judged on how they're built and painted, along with how the kitchen and bathroom are fitted out. Lobb says judging is kept fair with a centralised system to avoid any chance of unfair advantage.
It has different categories, like this is between a $300,000 and $400,000 home, which is pretty much probably about 80% of your market in Dunedin anyway. And what they do is the same two judges judge every house throughout the country. And that's a new thing. In years gone by, it actually used to be judged regionally.
The rest of the street resembles a building site with many homes under construction, including Lobb's latest build. While he says winning silver was amazing, he's going for gold next year. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
The man involved in a high-speed pursuit last night near Caversham has appeared in court, but on unrelated matters. The 19-year-old failed to stop for police at around 7 p.m, prompting a 2-kilometre pursuit. He crashed the car north of the Abbotsford off-ramp and was taken to hospital. Police say charges in relation to last night's incident have not yet been laid, but are likely. It'll now be referred to the Independent Police Conduct Authority. Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we chat with a leading authority on dementia and concussion research, and we'll find out why things may be looking up for Basketball Otago.
Hi kids, if you'd like to enter a competition and win a trip for you and 2 friends from home to school in a fire truck, see the competition details below.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Thinking of services for older people, think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115. Come one, come all to the Lana Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July, get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 47661616 or go online to www.lanarkcastle.co.nz.
Driving Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jean, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
And mums and dads, we've got a great competition for you too. You can win a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket for your home. Just see the details below.
Well, Welcome back. Petrol prices have fallen to a 2-month low, dropping around 18 cents a litre in that time. The drop is being credited to falling oil prices and a rising exchange rate. The New Zealand Automobile Association says prices have fallen a total of 6 cents per litre in just the last few days. The current national average price for 91 octane is sitting at nearly $1.83 a litre, while 95 octane is $1.91. And on that note, let's take a look at today's markets. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 16 points. It's now at 7,080. The FTSE is down 10 points. And to the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is down against all the currencies we follow. A leading dementia authority and also an authority on concussion research is in the city for a number of engagements. Professor Damien Bailey is a guest of medical software developer ADI Instruments, and he joins us now to talk about what he's been up to. Good evening.
Good evening.
What brings you to Dunedin in your summertime normally?
Yeah, that's right, yes. I'm part of an academic lecture series, care of ADI Instruments, as you mentioned, and here to talk a little bit about oxygen in the brain.
Oh, nice. What does your research primarily explore?
It explores how we regulate oxygen to the brain, and there's a lot of clinical applications such as dementia and stroke, but also you're very keen on your rugby here in New Zealand, so we apply that knowledge as well to concussion and sports in general.
How important is it to sport?
It's very important. I mean, we're seeing now, certainly here in New Zealand, you've got some big players that usually beat Wales in rugby, and we're seeing huge impacts, and we're very keen to look at this as an alternative model, if you like, to shine some unique insight into dementia.
What are some of the ways that rugby players can protect themselves from concussion?
Well, I think they need to take ownership in terms of the potential injuries that they can incur, as well as the rest of the teams. And we're slowly starting to shed some light on the mechanisms and the consequences of recurrent concussion, and not just in the young, but also in the older retired player.
What else will you be doing while you're here in this country?
Well, I'm going to be giving a number of talks across the universities here, and we'll be going up to Queenstown and to Auckland as well, so just talking to a number of groups and just spreading the word and raising the profile of oxygen in the brain.
And you've recently returned from Mount Everest. What was that all about?
Well, again, we were interested in using that as an alternative model to provide insight into dementia and the control of oxygen transport to the brain. And we attempted to climb Everest without oxygen to see how the brain copes, or sometimes doesn't cope. So it was very exciting, but with a clinical application as well.
And you took part in that yourself?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
How did it feel?
It's fantastic. I mean, it's a long way up. It's a beautiful country. The people are fantastic. And it's a great opportunity to do some really alternative research rather than just working in a hospital or a university.
But from a lack of oxygen point of view, a bit frightening?
Yeah, it demonstrates the power of acclimatization, and that was one of the things we were focused on, is trying to get more oxygen to the brain. And I think we've got a lot of experience going into those environments, and I think there's no grey area. You either really enjoy it or you really don't like it. And luckily, I'm one of the guys that really enjoys it.
How do you juggle all of your varied interests?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think probably not sleeping much is a prerequisite. But no, I'm just very passionate about my area, and I think in this area you learn to have a very wide interest in order to try to understand some complicated mechanisms in disease. So we've got some very alternative models.
What's on the cards for you for the remainder of the year?
For the remainder of the year, we might be going back to Everest. We've got an experiment planned perhaps towards the end of October. Again, I work at a university and do research in a hospital, so it's all very busy, and also spending time with the family as well, which is probably the most important.
Absolutely. Professor Damien Bailey, thanks very much for your time and for coming out to New Zealand.
My pleasure.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, attendance at a school holiday program excites Basketball Otago, and we recap this week's big news from the Southern District Health Board.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
Hi kids, if you'd like to enter a competition and win a trip for you and 2 friends from home to school in a fire truck, see the competition details below.
Come one, come all to the Lana Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July. Get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 4761616 or go online to www.lanarkcastle.co.nz.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
We're at 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
And mums and dads, we've got a great competition for you too. You can win a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket for your home. Just see the details below.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Welcome back. A coalition of tropical disease experts is looking into ways to tackle fevers in Asia. The University of Otago-led group has just secured around $450,000 to study the causes of fever in Myanmar, and they're hoping international collaboration will be key in making some important medical discoveries.
They give you fever. Mosquitoes like this one are responsible, along with the climate and other factors, for the spread of illnesses that result in fevers, many of which are often fatal. Director of the Centre for International Health, Professor John Crump, says a recently formed alliance with the University of Medicine in Myanmar will help to combat the spread of certain tropical diseases.
So we currently have a PhD student who's been studying patients with severe fever who have bacteria in their blood, what we call sepsis. We're planning to extend that project to focus on other causes of fever and their contribution to severe disease in Myanmar.
He says malaria was once thought of as one of the most common contributors to fatal fevers. While many inroads have been made in the fight against the disease, Crump says there are resistance issues.
What we call artemisinin combination therapies that have until recently been quite effective in areas where resistance to the earlier drugs was common. Unfortunately, we know that in parts of Southeast Asia, resistance to artemisinins is common and spreading. And so, although we've seen big gains in malaria control in the last 10 years or more, that may not be sustained.
While malaria is the main offender, Crump says there are a few others which are equally guilty.
Besides malaria, common causes of fever in the tropics include things like typhoid fever, which is caused by a particular type of salmonella that's acquired by contaminated food or water.
He says leptospirosis is also an issue. The joint effort to combat fever is being funded by the Health Research Council through its East Asia Joint Research Programme. The centre's financial contribution to the programme is $450,000. Daryl Baser, 39, Dunedin News.
The future of basketball in Otago is in the hands of its youngest players. Basketball Otago is continuing its bounce back from financial issues with an increasing focus on getting more kids involved. And with its school holiday program drawing large numbers, things are looking good.
Showing off their handles. The Diggers Basketball Holiday Camp is back in session with a full roster of school kids taking part. The camp is designed to help improve the quality of basketball being played in Otago.
Oh, this is where it starts with these ages. So if you start them young, they develop better skills early on, they become better players.
Organisers say the camp is helping to feed the growing interest in basketball nationwide. They say there's a combination of things at play that have sparked the enthusiasm for the sport.
I think basketball is becoming a more mainstream sport in New Zealand. We've got Stephen Adams dominating the NBA, and we've got the Breakers, obviously. So basketball's in the news, it's everywhere for these kids.
These kids are being put through a range of different drills, including ball handling, shooting and game practice, with the kids lapping up all aspects of the game.
Our family is made to like basketball. We're big fans of basketball. We don't like hating it. It's basically our life.
It's like a good sport for like learning, like helping with your jumping.
Just to see all the people having fun and doing stuff in their holidays instead of being at home sitting on the couch.
The program is key to helping find new talent within Basketball Otago.
Yeah, there's definitely some talented kids out there, ones that I'm watching out for, scouting for my club team, and potential nuggets of the future.
While Otago may not have a team in the National Basketball League currently, the future is looking bright for the sport with plenty of young stars in the making. Henry McMullen, 39, Dunedin News.
This week, Southern District Health Board Chief Executive Carol Heatley announced her resignation after almost 5 years on the job. It's a move that comes after a series of high-profile issues plaguing the organisation. And Otago Daily Times health reporter Eileen Goodwin joins us to talk about it. Good evening.
Hello.
Was this a surprise?
In a way it wasn't. Carol was appointed in 2011 by the old health board, the members that were sacked, in the hope of making a lot of changes. She did try and do some of those. I attended many meetings over the years, and there was never any sense of tension between her and the board members. She said in her interview with us that she felt very loyal to that board, particularly the chairman, Joe Butterfield. And I think sometimes they probably felt they were at odds with the public and, had some pressure on them from Wellington and worked well together. So she did seem slightly sidelined when the board was disestablished. But she adapted to that well. She's very professional, but that was an observation.
What were her reasons for leaving?
Oh, well, she said that she would want to commit to the rebuild timeframe, the next 5 years, which is the period that will really get it underway, and she couldn't do so. And she mentioned, she's from the UK, and she mentioned family back there, and she is staying here in New Zealand, but she wants more time to.
Do you think that the public and the media scrutiny was perhaps too much for her?
Well, that's a moot point. It really took off as a story. National media is very fickle, as we know. It was partly because it had struck a chord down here, and so there were plenty of people willing to be in the media around it. And I guess my own opinion would be it'd be nice to see more scrutiny or focus on the actual, was the contract a good idea, which of course other boards have signed up to as well, but Dunedin became the focus.
Is there any talk about where a replacement might be found?
Well, there's the question of an interim person to come in, and that would usually in an organisation be someone who works there. But the Senior Doctors Union have said we want an external person brought in for that. So finding a permanent replacement will probably take months.
Otago Daily Times health reporter Eileen Goodwin, thanks for your time. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. 2 American academics have arrived in the city for a month-long stay, and they plan on tackling climate change issues with the public. And Abbotsford Home has taken out the silver medal in a National Master Builders Award, leaving the man behind the construction feeling great. And a coalition of experts led by the University of Otago is studying the causes of fever and how patients with it are managed in Myanmar. Well, it's time now to find out what's going to be in Friday's Otago Daily Times, and Dave Cannon joins us. Good evening.
Rebecca, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
As you all know, the local body elections are coming up in October. Nominations open tomorrow, and we can tell you in the paper tomorrow that 2 of Dunedin's long-serving councillors are not standing this year, John Bizette and Richard Thompson, so we'll give them that a bit of a splash in the paper tomorrow. The Science Festival, which has been on this week, fantastic, and we've got a great story tomorrow about a young bloke with a bionic arm who's going to learn how to play the cello. So, lovely story, lovely photograph. We're looking at the paymark figures for the Welsh Rugby Test. Very surprising which businesses do quite well out of that, including florists, believe it or not.
Oh,
so we have that story tomorrow. And in the sports pages, of course, this big game this weekend for the Highlanders and the Steel. Both got some very important rugby games this weekend. And the Wash tomorrow is talking about the weather.
Oh good, I'm pleased,
Because
I've missed the chit-chat about the weather.
Right.
Which hasn't been that wintry, really, has it?
Not really, no.
Things are about to change, though. Thanks, Dave. It's tomorrow's ODT.
No
It's time
worries.
now to have a look at local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
Here's our city view. It's the moon, or part of it. Around the city at 3 o'clock today, 9 degrees for the central city and the Tyree, 8 for the gardens. To the situation, and a cold west to southwest airstream is with us now. Further cold fronts, though, will wash over the country tomorrow and through the weekend. It's not really looking good, no matter where you go. In Invercargill, Gore, Tianau and Alexandra tomorrow, southwest gales with snow showers, highs of around 5 or 6. And strong southwesters with snow showers for Queenstown, Wanaka and Twizel. The showers will be of the sleety variety in Oamaru with a high of 6. In Dunedin tonight, cloudy with a low of 1. Tomorrow, snow showers and westerly gales tending southwest with showers easing during the day. Winds easing as well eventually, just 5 degrees on the cards. And on Saturday, sunny periods with fresh to strong cold southwesters and a high of 7. To the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow afternoon is at 12:30. Low tide follows at 7:10. And fishing conditions are still a write-off. And that's all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for Thursday. See you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.